Procrastination is something almost everyone struggles with, yet very few understand why it happens. On the surface, procrastination seems like laziness, but psychology tells us it's much deeper than that. It's not about being idle, it's about managing emotions. When we procrastinate, we're often avoiding discomfort. That discomfort could be fear of failure, fear of judgment, feeling overwhelmed, or even perfectionism. The brain tends to prioritize short-term comfort over long-term goals, which is why we scroll social media, watch videos, or do minor tasks instead of tackling the bigger, more important work. Scientists call this the present bias, where immediate rewards feel more appealing than future benefits. Understanding this is the first step in breaking the cycle. Our emotions play a huge role in procrastination. For instance, if a task feels boring or stressful, our brain signals us to escape it. This triggers the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotions and survival instincts, making procrastination almost automatic. The prefrontal cortex, which controls planning and decision-making, has to fight against these impulses. If your prefrontal cortex is tired or distracted, the limbic system wins, and you end up procrastinating. This is why procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a complex interaction between your brain, emotions, and environment. Perfectionism is another major contributor. Many people procrastinate because they fear their work won't be good enough. This fear can be paralyzing. When perfectionism takes over, the brain interprets starting a task as risky. It might not meet high standards. Instead of doing the work, people delay it endlessly, thinking they need the perfect moment, energy, or condition. Unfortunately, that perfect moment rarely comes. Recognizing that perfectionism fuels procrastination is crucial. Accepting that done is better than perfect can free you from the cycle. Fear of failure is also closely tied to procrastination. It's natural to want to avoid failure, but when avoidance becomes habitual, it can stunt growth. Procrastination provides temporary relief from fear. It feels like safety, but it ultimately reinforces the fear. This is where self-compassion comes in. Instead of criticizing yourself for procrastinating, acknowledge that your brain is trying to protect you and gently guide yourself back to the task. Studies show that people who practice self-compassion procrastinate less because they replace fear with motivation rather than guilt. Another factor is task overwhelm. Big projects can feel impossible, so the brain seeks easier, less stressful alternatives. This is why breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps is so effective. When tasks feel achievable, the prefrontal cortex is more likely to engage, and the limbic system's resistance diminishes. Simple strategies like the Pomodoro technique, where you work in short bursts with breaks, can trick your brain into starting and sustaining focus. Starting small is more effective than trying to do everything at once. The environment around you also affects procrastination. A cluttered workspace, constant notifications, or social distractions can trigger avoidance behaviors. Environmental cues can either support productivity or reinforce procrastination. Psychologists recommend designing your workspace to reduce distractions and make focused work appealing. Even small changes, like keeping your phone in another room or using productivity apps, can significantly reduce procrastination. Your environment either empowers your brain or gives in to the limbic system's urge for comfort. Motivation plays a critical role too. Many people believe procrastination is a lack of willpower, but research shows that willpower alone isn't enough. Motivation fluctuates, so relying solely on it can backfire. Instead, creating systems, routines, and habits that guide action regardless of mood is far more effective. For example, committing to work at the same time daily, setting deadlines, or using accountability partners can create external structures that help overcome procrastination. Systems beat motivation because they remove the dependence on emotional state. Self-awareness is another key tool. Understanding why you procrastinate allows you to address the root cause rather than just treating symptoms. Ask yourself, are you avoiding fear, boredom, or overwhelm? Once you identify the trigger, you can apply targeted strategies. Fear of failure calls for self-compassion and reframing. Boredom can be countered by making tasks engaging or rewarding. Overwhelm can be managed by breaking tasks into smaller steps. Awareness transforms procrastination from a frustrating habit into an actionable problem. Time perception is often distorted in procrastination. Many people underestimate how long tasks take or overestimate their future energy. This is called the planning fallacy. The brain assumes tomorrow will be better prepared, but often it isn't. Combating this requires realistic scheduling and time blocking. Treat your schedule as a commitment rather than a flexible suggestion. Visualizing the completion of tasks and the satisfaction it brings can trick the brain into starting sooner rather than later. Procrastination can be managed, and understanding the psychology behind it is the first powerful step towards mastering your time, focus, and life.